So here today, I'm gonna kind of be going over how to fix the D-pad on a Duke controller. Basically what happens is when I press the buttons, they don't respond on the screen properly. They only respond if I press them extremely hard, like if I'm going to break the controller, which is not normal. And I'm a huge Dead or Alive fan, so if you plan to use the D-pad, you need this to work. If you plan to play Dead or Alive, you need the D-pad to work. Let's see if I can fix it. Let's see if I can get it to respond like normal. In the back here, we see that there are some screws. And I'll go ahead and use my handy dandy tools to see if I can simply pull out the screws. I appreciate that back then they didn't use complicated screws, just simple Phillips. So let me pull it apart. Let's see what's inside. So here we go, folks. I have taken out the screws from the back of the Duke original controller Xbox. You can see here it's quite dirty. So I'm gonna clean all that. Basically, my issue was that my D-pad was not working properly. I don't know what this fluff piece is here. Maybe that has something to do with it, but basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna really clean this out. I'm gonna clean this D-pad and just kind of move it around, maybe take it apart if I can. It seems that it would be connecting right here. Doesn't look like any of the circuits are burned anywhere, so we should be getting good contact to the buttons. Surprisingly, the joysticks just work absolutely phenomenal for such an old controller. But yeah, I mean, this is basically what it looks like inside. They kind of use the same rubbers as they did for the Xbox 360. We'll go ahead and clean that out. But yeah, that's kind of what we got going there. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it gets fixed after I give this D-pad a good clean. So this is the D-pad taken apart. Unfortunately, it looked very clean. It doesn't sound like it makes sense, but it does to me because a really dirty D-pad being cleaned may have been a solution to my issue. But because it was fairly clean, I highly doubt that me cleaning it or taking it apart and putting it back together is going to fix anything. I also cleaned this circuit board with alcohol and Q-tip, at least this area. And I will put it back together and I'll test it here. And if for any reason it doesn't work, more than likely it's going to be something maybe behind this board, which I really like their design for it because they put screws and they locked it into place so it doesn't fall apart like the 360 controller, which is really annoying. If this doesn't work, I'll go ahead and take it apart again, and I will remove this board and see what's behind there. See if there's anything I can clean. I don't know much about electronics, but this is what we're doing. So let's see what happens. All right, so after cleaning the D-pad, I have put it back together, just put a couple screws just to test it. And here we can see that with some softer pressing, it works a lot smoother. It's not perfect. I mean, it's not going to be like the beautiful Series X controller, but man, for its time, like back in 01, the D-pad now works much nicer. It actually responds without feeling like I'm going to break the controller. And this is super important in games like Dead or Alive. This is my favorite Dead or Alive game, which is Dead or Alive Part 2 Ultimate. I just barely got this Xbox, so I haven't unlocked any good stuff. Oh, yeah. But you need it to basically be able to dash, go forward, do combos. Oh yeah, it responds so much better. So I don't know what it was, but even a good cleaning, it just helps. So yeah, I basically got some Q-tips, some 91% alcohol. I rubbed on the circuit board of the controller. I cleaned it really well. I took this little piece apart. I cleaned that inside really well and cleaned as much as I could. So here we have an original Duke Xbox, still performing like a champ with my favorite game. Certain games on the Xbox original, you cannot play them on the 360 or the Series X. For example, Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. I mean, whether it's a cheesy game or not, or whether it's an incredible game, it doesn't matter. You should be able to play it if you want to. And unfortunately, you cannot do that on either of these. So that's why I got this bad boy. And plus, I like playing my original Halo and Halo 2 games on here as well. Because when you put them in the 360, or if you play it on the Series X, they're remastered. And the 360 does not read the disc of your Halo game and actually give you the literal image of what it's supposed to look like. It gives you like a remastered kind of thing. It just kind of triggers like a prettier HD upscaled version, and I don't like that. But when you put it the same game, Halo 1 or Halo 2, in the Xbox original, it does give you the correct aspect ratio and the correct visualizations, especially using the RGB cables or the regular audio video cables versus an HDMI. Halo 1 and Halo 2 will always look the best to me on the original Xbox. The engine is just smoother, it just runs more beautiful, and it just gives me that nostalgia as I used to play it back in the day. And when you play Halo with a nice beefy controller like this, you feel like a king. Like, I swear to you, it feels amazing. It's gotta be the Duke controller. The experience of playing Halo on the Duke, even Dead or Alive, when you just kick someone's ass and you have the vibration turned on, it reminds me of back when I was a kid in 2001 and walking through Best Buy, and they would have these on, out on display so you can try them out and play them. And I remember grabbing this controller and playing this game and just being blown away by how much fun I was having. So yeah, guys, sometimes a good cleaning is all you need, because this is working really nicely now. Hope you guys have a great day.